Hey everyone, welcome to the first episode of my brand new Dauntless Journey series. My name is DuddyX5 and today I'm starting from scratch in Dauntless. That's right, a new account, fresh start, and I'm going to show you what it's like to dive into this awesome game as a complete beginner. Alright, let's kick things off by creating our character. Dauntless gives you a reasonable amount of customization options, but I'm just going to keep it simple for today. I'll go with the basics and see where we go from here. You can always change it later. Now that's done, we're officially in the game. I'm going to take you through the very beginning of the journey, everything from the first few quests to understanding how the progression works, and most importantly, what beginners should focus on as they start their own hunt.
Long ago, we reached for ultimate power and broke the world. But after the upheaval, a new world arose. The Shattered Isles, a world on the edge of the maelstrom. Etheric storms revealed new islands, and with them, new dangers. Even a broken world can provide shelter from the storm. We set sail to find a new home. We now explore and reclaim the rest of the Shattered Isles. But we can't do it without friends. It's a time for heroes. It's a time to fight. It's a time for slayers. Now, let's see what kind of slayer you are.
Now before we get into the big monster hunts, like I know you want to, Dauntless starts you off with a bit of a tutorial sort of thing. It's more or less a tutorial and more of a linear quest chain that tries to make you learn the game at a specific pace. It's pretty straightforward, although it sometimes does things a little out of order in my opinion. For instance, it told me about the quest markers after I'd already done my first couple quests. But it covers everything, so pay attention as you go and read it all if you need to. It first starts on the tutorial island. Here, we learn the basics of combat with the first 4 weapons. The sword, the pike, the hammer, and the axe. Now we unlock more weapons later on, but for now we're limited to these 4. And here's my first tip for new players. Take your time with these weapons. Like I said, we do unlock more later on, but the best thing to do is to pick one of these weapons as your primary weapon. So get a feel for each of them. Go through the list of the abilities in the tutorial island. Make sure you're comfortable using them all. Understand how the ultimate works. And then pick one. Now you can pick 2, but the second weapon can be swapped out at a later date. But picking one weapon right from the start is the fastest way to progress the game. Putting all your XP, all your energy into leveling one weapon. Now after we've been on this island for a while and we've gotten a feel for our weapons and we've picked the one we want to main, as it were, you can go ahead and equip it and also equip another one, a second weapon. And then we're going to head out for our first hunt. Now we're not going to go take on some big behemoth. We're just going to go to Embermane Cove and take on a small little Embermane. Later on, things will get crazy as we progress more and more into behemoths. And later in the series, I'll be diving deeper into the gearing system, weapon choices, the importance of upgrading. But for now, we're just going to focus on getting the grips with basic mechanics. And that brings me into my second tip. Learning to dodge. Unlike the training grounds, a real behemoth like Embermane will fight back. And we need to know how to dodge as new players. I would recommend for your first fight, not drawing your weapon and just learning to dodge. On PC, that's the spacebar. On console, it's different. Dauntless will indicate with a sound when you have successfully dodged through an attack properly. Learning to dodge adds a lot of survivability to the game, but it also opens up room in your loadout later on for more damage and less defense-focused gearing. After your first kill, you'll notice you start getting rewards. This is where things get more interesting. You'll use these materials to make new gear and upgrade your existing gear to take on bigger and tougher behemoths. This moves on to my third tip for a beginner. As a new player, we have no behemoth parts in our inventory. These are dropped from defeating behemoths, but there are specific parts that drop from breaking those parts on the behemoth. For example, the tail will break with enough focus damage on the tail. Now, part damage is indicated to you with a yellow damage number that comes up when you're attacking. I will get into more detail on the various other damage types, but for now just know that when you're doing yellow damage, you're doing part damage. My tip now then is, as much as you can in every fight, focus and break parts one by one with focus on the head and tail on any behemoth you fight. Gathering as much parts as possible, as fast as possible, will help accelerate the rate in which you can upgrade your gear. So while on Embermain Cove, I would recommend fighting as many Embermains as you want. Get comfortable fighting Embermain. Get comfortable dodging Embermain. The more you learn how to dodge, the more you learn how to break parts on a behemoth completely, the quicker we'll progress through the game into the end game content and into the gearing and gear crafting side of things. So that's my first step of our journey, and 3 tips to get you started. If you're new to Dauntless or just want to see the game through a fresh set of eyes, stick with me because this is just the beginning. Over the next few episodes, I'll be covering things like different weapon types, tips for getting better, how to level up efficiently. I'll even dive into team play and how to work with others to take down behemoths. I hope you're as excited as I am to see where this goes. If you enjoyed this first look at Dauntless and want to follow along on this adventure, if you want some help along the way, friend my new account, Dauntless X5, and we can go on this journey together. Be sure to hit that like button and subscribe. Leave your comment with any tips or questions you have for a beginner, and I'll see you in the next episode, where we're going to level up and take on our first real challenges.